Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of Friday Shares. Before I dive in, I just wanted to say that it was great seeing you this past couple of weeks. I feel like I've seen a lot of you face to face. Last week, I saw Jenny and Ayako when Michael and I visited Nobles outside of Boston. And then I saw Allison at the Oasis conference. And then I saw a lot of you face to face in our individual meetings and our faculty meetings this week. So it's been really great seeing all of you. This week's edition of Friday Shares is called Bringing the Outside World In, and I have three examples of teachers who are using the global element of their online class really well, but also using the ability of an online course to capture many more voices than just those of the teacher and the student. And three examples today are Scott Cotton's 9/11 course, Jenny's comparative religion course, and Lena's Arabic course. So let's start with 9/11, which is taught by Scott Cotton. The final project for Scott's third unit on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is an oral history project. And what he's asked the students to do is conduct a 20 to 30-minute interview with a subject of their choice who has been directly affected by the Israel-Palestine conflict. And what Scott wants them to do is post all of these interviews to one wiki project to create a kind of mosaic or oral history project. Notice here that Scott's provided links to guidelines for how to complete the project, lots of tips for how to conduct a good interview, technical tips on how to use SoundCloud, which is a tool that's great for recording audio files, and also some basics for how to post to a wiki project. So Scott's really built the project well to give the kids the freedom to spend the next 4 or 5 days submitting and putting together their interviews. So let's listen really quickly to an example. In this case, the one student, Sean, has interviewed a teacher at his school who's from Israel. Here you have Sean's initial post to the wiki project and then a link to the SoundCloud file. This is what SoundCloud looks like, and we'll listen just to the very beginning of the interview.
Can you say your name?
Yeah, my name is Ohad. I was born in Tel Aviv, and my parents moved to the United States in 1983 when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
And so the interview goes on to where Sean asks his subject a lot of questions about what it was like to grow up in Israel, how directly affected he and his family were by the conflict. It's really interesting. And you'll see that as Scott's interviews pile up, you get a wider diversity of voices and probably from a wide range of ages and experiences. Jenny's project in comparative religions is similar. She has, at the last part of her unit 2 on the human predicament is look out. She actually uses this structure in a lot of her units. The students start by learning it, by reading articles, watching videos, looking at content. Then they're asked to look in, which means reflecting upon the impact of the material on their own lives. And then finally, they look out, which is looking out into the world either by examining current events or, in this case, conducting an interview to get information from the outside world about the theme of the particular unit. In this case, we're dealing with the human predicament, and Jenny has asked her students to find someone, anyone in their school or town community whom the students can ask about the question of the human predicament. And what I like about this is there aren't a lot of guidelines as to the kind of subject the students can interview. So you're going to get a wide array of responses. And there's pros and cons to that. But what I like is in the actual wiki project, you're seeing a wide range of ages and type backgrounds. And so I'm only going to play one quick example, but there's lots of different people on this wiki project. And so the multitude of voices is really interesting.
Okay, after studying many of the world's biggest religions and the most successful religions, how they played out, do you agree with them that there is a human predicament? And if so, what do you think it is?
Do I agree with him that there is a human predicament? Well, I don't believe that there is a human predicament, but I appreciate your thesis, which is that when you look at various religious traditions, there seems to be within them a search for an answer to a problem about being human.
So this is interesting to me because, first of all, the student has chosen a teacher, as in the previous example. So you have sort of another adult voice. She's also chosen her Western Civ Islam teacher. And so not only do you have another adult voice, but you have another teacher who is knowledgeable in the subject. And the student made kind of a brave choice. She said here, "I'm sorry if his strong views offend anyone. I realize that they are very strong." And so the student, if you listen to the whole video, he doesn't say too much that'll make you blush, but he does feels very strongly. And what the student did here, I think that I like, is put something up that might make some people uncomfortable, and in doing that, sort of broaden the parameters of what people can discuss. The final example I want to show you is from Lena's class, and I'm actually going to shut up and let Lena explain what her project is.
And since we're starting a new unit, we are starting a new project. Our project is actually inspired by something I started last year at our school. And last year, I started a club called it Shufi Mafi, meaning what's in, what's not, meaning what's up. Shufi Mafi. And in this club, I would pair foreign learners of Arabic and native speakers of Arabic together. They meet once or twice a week, talk about cultural topics, learn new words, ask questions, practice their Arabic, and so on. So what I'm trying to do here is do a virtual Shufi Mafi with you guys and some of the students that actually volunteered to meet with you on Skype and talk about cultural topics. So what you need to do is contact that person if they haven't contacted you before, of course, and set a fixed time where you meet every single week. Some common time where both of you are free. You meet on Skype for about 15-20 minutes, talk about the cultural topic that I chose for you for that week, and then make sure you take notes so that you can reflect on it, add to it, ask questions, learn some new words in relation to that new topic. Our club has actually a logo. It says Shufi Mafi. So it's real.
So again, I like that Lena is bringing in she's creating virtual pen pals. All of these Shufi Mafi partners, they live in Jordan, and they're students at Lena's school. And so I actually was on an email thread earlier this week where a student was working with Lena on something else, and he mentioned that this is one of the best things he's ever done. And I think it's great that this is a way for students to connect synchronously. In the previous two examples, you have sort of multimedia interview projects, but here Lena's really using this global element of her course and the online element of her course to connect kids in a really great way. So no matter what you decide to do in terms of bringing the outside world into your course, there's tons of other ways to do it, and I'd be happy to talk about it with you. I think what's really interesting in all three of these examples is that the students are actually generating useful content for the course. Other students can listen to or hear from other students and learn from them, and this is a big topic in the PD course I'm teaching for GOA right now. How can we use the online environment, because it is a public space really, to have students contribute not just to assessments and exercises, but actually generate meaningful content for the course? And I think these are three really great ways. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I look forward to talking to you all really soon.